To add loops to a Studio One project, you can access the Loops browser on the right by pressing this tab called Loops. It does also, like GarageBand, classify your loops into genres and instruments. Keep in mind that each loop has a very long file name, and at the end of the file name is a key. You need to pay attention to the key center of each loop as you combine them so that you are making sure that they actually go together. If you combine loops that are not in the same key, you may have to transpose each loop. For instance, in this case, I have a loop in, let me play this first 8 measure cycle. Remember that if we want to loop anything in Studio One, we basically extend our loop ribbon up at the top by dragging it between measures 1 and 8. To toggle loop on and off, you can press this button down here, or you can press the forward slash on your keyboard. That will turn it on and off. I have a series of loops loaded here to get us started. If you need to change the key of any individual loop, you right-click on the loop and you will see a bunch of settings for each loop. Transpose will raise or lower your loop by one step, by one half step, or however many half steps you choose. So for instance, if I press 4 here on this particular loop, it has changed its tonality. But I have not changed this one. So in this case, you have the flexibility to transpose each individual loop on its own. This one's transposed up by 4 semitones or a major third. This one is transposed up by 1 semitone or a half step. So they are basically a minor third away from each other. So as you add loops, you may need to change their tonality to make them sound okay. To each loop, you can also add effects by doing so in the channel strip here down at the bottom, right? These are all listed underneath the Inserts tab. So we can choose PreSonus and any of these other plugins that we'd like to add to our track. Automation is accessed through the A key. If we click the A key, we can identify any layers that we would like to automate, like volume and panning. If you've added a plugin and you'd like to automate parameters of that plugin, you can add that parameter by going to the Add Remove option in the Automation drop-down menu and selecting the parameter from the insert that you are manipulating. So if we go to Inserts and we go to, let's say, the beat delay, you can say you can automate any of these individual parameters. Mix is often the easiest one to detect because it's basically controlling the amount of delay in the track. You can add that to your track, and now that is automatable in your track. You hit close, and now we have the ability to hear or change the amount of delay in our track. If I go to an extreme amount here between the beginning and the end, you can hear that the delay qualities have increased over time because I've automated the mix properties of that plugin. To eliminate those breakpoints, I can just simply delete them by highlighting them and deleting them, bring this down to whatever quality I'd like. For this assignment, remember we are making 3 8-measure phrases. So our next phrase will be from measure 9 to 16. And so we change the boundaries of our loop ribbon, and we will work on the next phrase and add 4 layers for this one as well. You can change genres, styles, and loops. And also, you can change keys. When you are done writing 3 8-measure phrases with 4 layers each, you turn off loop, and then you go to File, and you can save your project. And you are also exporting, if I could remember how to export, pardon me, export mixdown from the song menu, excuse me. So that's Command E, and you have these variables. If you just keep the same basic things set here, you can then hit OK and save it to wherever you'd like. And of course, we audition all of our projects to make sure it sounds okay. Keep in mind that when we export, we need to make sure that we are selecting not between loop, but the whole duration of the between the whole project. So don't be tempted to select between loop. You need to select between selected measures and be specific about the boundaries of your export. If you have any questions, please let me know.